refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Applied myself. I filled it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss.
Pacers were going to make the playoffs. It didn't end so well for you, brother.
If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool.
You fell asleep at the trade deadline when we had a trade to get Kyle Lowry out of here.
They told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie. I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like told me keep on running toes. They gonna take
this is what we got to tell.
I've been doing this.
I felt it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss. I pay for the cost. I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Apply myself. I filled it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss. I'm paying the cost. I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Welcome to Refuse to Lose Sports. My name is Joe Jordan. We have a great show for y'all today. We had an awesome weekend of football, and we're going to talk about a lot of those topics. I got two of my, co-hosts with me, but before I bring them to the stage, I got to let y'all know what we're going to talk about today. Man, Tom, I thought you were going to have the glasses on. The shades. Season finally over. I know you said it was over, but it's finally over. I feel like the chat was having hope for the Cowboys a little bit, and then at the end, it just fell apart. All right, but we got to address the Cowboys season being over. Jamar Chase, in the midst of the Cowboys being over, Jamar Chase is in the conversation. Is he the best wide receiver in the NFL? We have to talk about that. Shout out to Carl. Brandon Graham, one of Tomo's best friends, came out in the press conference, interview, I should say, and said there's some drama in the locker room between A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. We got to address that comment. Dave, big game for you, my guy. Big game. Thursday night, 49ers against the Rams. This is a make-or-break game for the 49ers. Who will win that game? And lastly, we got a special guest coming on, Vaughn. This ongoing topic about top 5 coaches. We're going to talk about who are the top 5 coaches in the NFL. Mainly, this is for Vaughn and Dave. Me and Tom are going to keep, but we're going to give our top 5. But we're going to mainly just scope out the scene. But make sure you got to tune in for that. But I got two of my bros with me. I got Davey Dollars here representing this Bang Bang Niner game. Hope he hasn't. Listen. That game was nice, Dave. Get a little hope. It looking nice. All right. Representing his, Miami Hurricanes. They got a bowl game coming up. I know he said he's gonna outdo Shador and all that stuff. Him and Shador going back and forth on FaceTime. All right. Representing Duke, Miami Heat. And then we got my boy, Mr. Get Done Son, Tomo, co-host of In the Red Corner, #1 show on the platform right now, by the way. Right, just had an episode on Sunday, representing his, got a dub against the Nuggets, Washington Wizards, and the Dallas Cowboys, the Terps. How y'all doing, fellas?
They won and lost. They said they're going to end the losing streak and then lost right after that. They went and beat the Nuggets and said, all right, we're going to run this right back up. But I'm glad you're here, Kevo. I'm glad you're here because I do got to speak to some of the things that I say that Pop was talking about, man. So I'm here to talk about that. And I'm also here to talk about why I had a little bit of, I seen the light just a little bit, Joe, and then they opened the stadium and it was like, I'm blind now. I'm blind. I can't see no more. But I'm glad to be back here. I'm glad to talk some football. I'm glad to talk some top 5 coaches. I'm glad to be here with my brothers, man. In the Red Corner, I love my brothers from another, but it's my home right here.
Yeah, no place like home. Definitely glad to be on the show. Because I wasn't here Friday, but I'm here today. I will be here this Friday as well. So don't worry, I'll be here. I'm excited about everything we get to talk about today. I wish RBO had talked about the Miami Heat earlier. I was ready to go on a rant earlier today, but it's all good. I'll wait for the next time. Joe, you're right, man. I mean, Purdy balled out. Juwan Jennings, 30 Juwan had a really good game. Can't wait to talk about Thursday night. And then, I mean, Tomo, we said it. We last year there was trouble in paradise and everything folded for the Eagles. They're on the high right now, but it seems like is only on a high when it comes to running the ball. It seems like the passing game is just not where it needs to be at. We got to talk about that, man. So what is there to do today other than turn up?
Turn me up, 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 up.
Shout out to Lambo Anlo on the intro and Ed Hahn on the design. Jody, do you think?
All right, we are streaming this on 3 different platforms: YouTube, Facebook, and X. So make sure y'all like the video on all 3 platforms. Follow and subscribe on all of our social media platforms. You can follow us at Refuse to Lose Sports, but on X at R2L Sports. And share this video with somebody so they can come on and watch live with you. They can be involved in the show by being in the comment section. We can see all the comments y'all will be putting out throughout the show. Shout out to my boy Kevo being the first comment. I know Tom already addressed the first comment. I'm going to read it. Is Brandon Graham the only person that spoke or the only one that spoke to fit the narrative? Hashtag stay tuned. And he's only here so he won't get fined. All right. Shout out to my boy Kevin for being here. And last but not least, enjoy the rest of the show. Tomo, floor is yours. We can't hear you like the Cowboys season.
I know. That's why I did that. It was all a blur. Just like the Eagles season and just like the Commander season gonna be too. But I ain't got too much to say because misery loves company. Unless you Michael Parsons, because you walk off right before the game is over. You like, I ain't got time for this misery. So a lot of things had to be said about this game, this up and coming game. The Cowboys found a little bit of hope when they thought their playoffs. They thought they was going to actually make the playoffs this year after winning 2 games in 10 days. They beat both of their division rivals. They beat the Commanders on a high, and then they go out and then they beat the Giants, and then boom, Monday night comes. Jerry opens the stadium. Nothing falls down. I guess something has to fall down in order for the Cowboys to win. Oh, it did. A punt that was blocked. And then we had, I'm not going to call the guy out, but, Owarie, you had a moment where you could have made a play, but it just didn't go your way. So to add insult to injury, we have to react to the Cowboys season finally being over. And normally we don't do whole segments with shades on, but Tomo's going to do this one. The 2024 season for the Dallas Cowboys. I got you, Joe. I got you. The 2024 season for the Dallas Cowboys. It started off on a great ride. We came out, we beat the Browns. Everyone was like, the Browns got the number 1 defense. What are the Cowboys going to do? Second year in the offense. And second week rolls around, and then it was just like, who did they play? They played the Saints. The Saints just stumped a mud hole in them. And right after that, they played the Ravens. Cowboys thought they had a chance. Yeah, that is true. That is true. The Cowboys thought they had a chance against the Ravens, and Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry shows up, and then boom. We got to let the organs play just a little bit, man, because I'm hurt, man. I really thought we had a chance this year. But as the season progressed, injuries progressed as well. So you got to think about the list of injuries that happened, because we are going to talk about the game that happened last night. But you lose Dak Prescott. You lose DeMarcus Lawrence. You lose Michael Parsons for some time. You lose Zach Martin. You lose Sam Williams. You lose Marquise Bell. Man, I feel like Dave over here. You lose Jake Ferguson for a while. And then Overshown, who was having one of the best seasons, a breakout season that a linebacker can have coming off of an ACL tear, and then he goes down and finds out that he tore his other ACL. So the season was full of promises that led to injuries, that led to a lot of embarrassing moments. And the season is now over thanks to Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. Some would say it was because of a punt. Some would say it was because of Jerry Jones. And you can blame all of these things. But at the end of the day, the Cowboys had to go out there and make plays, and they didn't do it. And now it's over.
Tomo, I saw the light for y'all too, man. We put a thumbtack on this game, right? Hey, this is a game. They beat the Bengals. They're still alive. They haven't scored an open and drive touchdown all year. What they do? They get an open and drive touchdown.
2 CD.
2 CD. Speaking of crime wide receivers, but 2 CD. He was good yesterday. But even with that game, right, it was so many missed opportunities. The Bengals gave y'all chances. Even the interception. I mean, you had a tight end wide open on the back. On the backside, I think it was a 3rd down play. CD was wide open on the first down sticks, but he threw it to Cooks, I think, and he threw a bad pass. Mm-hmm. He just missed a lot. The punt, I mean, come on now, The punt was crazy. But the Cowboys, their season was, I would say, the reason why their season came like this, and I think we all can agree. I know Tomo didn't fully put on him, but it's because of the off season. The team that was constructed before the season had started. And y'all did find a gem, though. I think Rico Dowdle has been playing well these last few weeks. He's shown that he can be a starting running back next year. That's something y'all can like next year. You get somebody else?
It's the draft.
I mean, yeah, you know,
You gotta go young.
knowing Jerry Jones, you know, he not gonna, he probably won't. I don't know, but Rico Dowdle showed some promising. I mean, I know the Bengals defense ain't the best, but when y'all were consistent in running the ball, he did well. When y'all were consistent in running the ball, that's
7 yards a carry. I ain't heard that all season.
yeah, he played good these last few games, right?
Ain't nobody worried about Genty. There's other running backs out there, Carl.
He want to go there, but listen, I already know that I'm gonna have to I'm gonna get a notification after this, and they're gonna say, "Oh, copyright infringement, all that stuff." But I had to play this for
you. It was fun. You should have won. I'd have been more prepared.
I know I should have threw mine on too.
I guess it's my turn to say something about the Dallas Cowboys season being over. Maybe I'm the only one that thought that the Cowboys wouldn't win this game on Monday night, but I didn't think they were going to win it. I had already pre-thought that the Bengals would be able to come in and win this game. And one thing I say, shout out to the Cowboys, they made this a competitive game. They only lost by 7 points. So I gotta, wow.
Are
you a Niners fan and you doing this already? We ain't talking about the Niners yet. But no, back to this. Cowboys, like I said, they're going through some injuries right now late in the season, which is not good. Overshown tore his MCL, ACL, and PCL. So they don't even think he's going to be available until 2026. So let's just say he's out for this year and next year. He showed that he's a dog. He was out there making a lot of plays. You know, this is the one Mark called a creative player, but this guy was out there balling. He was making a lot of plays on that defense. And he to me was maybe if not the second most, at least the third most important defensive player on this team, other than Micah and Trayvon Diggs. Everyone else wasn't making the plays that he was making. Now you got Deron Bland, who's back. He's playing. He was playing well, but you know the defense kind of sort of got torched a little bit through the air with Jamar Chase and having a great game, and we'll talk about him a little later. But I didn't think that the Cowboys would make the playoffs, for one, because of everything that happened in the offseason, you know, not getting enough players to help out, to at least get another wide receiver to help out there, not getting a running back to really help out, not really helping out with the defensive line. There were a lot of things that they needed to address, and it just didn't happen. And now with having Dak out and all these other injuries, I just felt like it wasn't going to happen. The depth wasn't there, so I just didn't see it. So, but like I said, they put up a valiant effort Monday night, you know, better than I thought that they would. They only lost by 7 points, but at the end of the day, it's over. You know, that's going to be a new NFC East champion this year for the 20th straight season. So it was going to happen. I know we thought that at least the Cowboys would make it to the playoffs at least this season, but it's just not going to happen now.
Yeah, I did.
I definitely thought they would make it there because I said it. I was like, I don't want to hear nothing about no regular season games. If Dak throw for 500 yards, 6 touchdowns, and they talking about they back, and I don't want to hear nothing about none of that until they make the playoffs. And then as the season progressed, it was just like playoffs, trying to win some games. But to answer your question right quick, Carl, at running back, I mean, there's a few people. The guy from Penn State. There's another kid from I think North Carolina. I mean, there's some other running backs out there outside of Genty. Yes, Genty is the bigger name, but again, him too. Yeah, there's running backs out there. I'm just saying he's not the one. So my hopes aren't on Genty. If it happens, it'll be nice, but it wasn't. It's not the hopes is there. You know what I'm saying?
I want to be here, but look there. Hey, Tomo.
Henry want to be here too, so you know that. That's why we know we're not drafting. Anybody that wants to be a Cowboy is not going to be a Cowboy.
That's why when the comments somebody said you're not getting Genty, and Kevo had a spell checking and said he's not going to drive Genty. It's not like Genty don't want to come here. Jerry won't make it happen. But Tomo, answer this question because this is how I feel. Is this the most out of all the losses this year? Even though you felt like we're done, but do you feel like this was the one that was like dang the most? Because I feel like all y'all losses, y'all were getting kicked in the face, and y'all came back probably. And this was the only loss I had all year when it was wide the whole game.
I say yes and no because of what could have happened if they won this game. The team that you went up against, this game kind of reminded me of them playing the Commanders. Yes, the Commanders is a rivalry team, but you're playing against a team that is good. They just have a bad defense. Like we seen what Joe Burrow was doing out there. My fantasy record was in jeopardy of how Joe Burrow was chopping them up out there. He was getting rid of the ball in 3 seconds, and we're going to talk about him next with Jamar Chase, but they took this game personal. They made sure Jamar Chase got the ball every chance they could. And that's exactly, and they did that. They found the run game. Well, not found it, but Chase was out there doing what Chase was supposed to do. Chase Brown, that is, as far as running the football. And their defense, like, I think it was his Hendrickson. The one person that was getting all the sacks on their defense was actually eating. It was one play where I watched Rico Dowdle, and you talking about him being the starting running back. It was just that one play, but he literally looked at Hendricks, rushed the left tackle, and was like, oh, no, I'm going to go out for a pass. Not chip him or anything. So it was just moments like that in the game. But as far as the one that hurt the most, I would say the one where we lost Dak, that game. Like the one where he got hurt, the Falcons game, I think that's the game that really hurt the most because it's like, all right, at least if I still have my starting quarterback, I got chances to win a game down the stretch. But the pettiness in me is kind of glad the season played out the way it did because these are all the people that said Cooper Rush could have took the Cowboys to the playoffs. Told y'all. He's a backup.
And Carl, we got these other running backs because the other two got hurt. CMC is out for the season, and so was Jordan Mason. So we had to go get some other running backs because we only had Gorindo and Patrick Taylor Jr. as running back. So we needed two other ones.
And Tomo, mention what you mentioned in the chat about what the Cowboys should do going forward this year. Quarterback.
Oh, they already came out and Jerry ruined that. Talking about they should play Trey Lance. He came out and said they're not going to do
it. That's crazy.
It's a wasted pick.
Just play him.
Your quick comments on that, Tomo?
About him not playing Trey Lance?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at this point, here's another 4th-round pick from a team that says they value draft picks and they value building through the draft. They're not going to go out there and see what he's worth because you wasted a 4th-round pick on this guy. You just want him to hold the clipboard. I think what they're really scared of, honestly, is that Trey Lance going to actually go out there and potentially win them some games. I think they thought this in the beginning. I said you got to give Cooper Rush at least one shot, see how he plays, and then you give it to Trey Lance to go out there and see if he's worth that 4th-round pick you spent on him. But they chose not to do that. They kept playing Cooper Rush, and they found a way to win 2 games. So now you got the hot hand, so you really can't go back on your word. He won you 2 games. But I think Trey Lance would have gave him a better shot. And they don't want to look at it like, is Trey Lance the next best thing? Like the predecessor of Dak Prescott? They probably don't want to see that. So they're like, nah, we good. And he can run. It's the multi-threat there. Like he can run when the pocket breaks down because there's a few plays where Cooper Rush tried to run and he started stumbling. So it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Jerry stubborn.
Very, very. But one thing I do want to address, though, is what Big O said about the sportsmanship when Michael Parsons walking off. He did. And I do agree. I can't come on here and say I can't talk about people with bad sportsmanship and then watch Michael walk off the field the way he does. But the one thing I did learn about Michael Parsons in that moment is something that I've always talked about on here is how much does he care about winning? In that game right there, he finally showed it that, look, bro, I actually care about winning football games because there's been several times I've seen us get beat by the 49ers and him run to the middle of the field and try to swap jerseys. Remember one clip where he had the Terry McLaurin jersey in the background. This game right here literally showed that he was like, look, I really wanted to win this game. I really wanted to have some hope to go into the season. Like, this was the moment. And him walking off.
He played his tail off, too. He was in the backfield almost every time, harassing Joe Burrow. He was getting held like crazy. They missed a lot of holding calls on him, too.
And Papa J, most of the running backs you named are on rookie contracts. They will have to trade for our running backs in order to get them. Patrick Taylor's on a rookie contract, and so is Isaac Garendo and Jordan Mason. Cowboys will have to give us a pick or something in order to get him.
He ain't doing that. Well, he did get. Never mind.
I was saying, who do you think got the 4th round pick?
We gave him Trey Lance.
Yeah, we're gonna get to the 49ers too. Make sure you stay tuned. We got y'all coming up.
Can we trade coaches?
I mean, Dave?
Nope. Not at all. Not at all.
Well, I mean, we had this debate happen. And for the Cowboy fans that watch this watch the last segment, man, make sure y'all leave some comments, share the video. If you don't like what I said, season over anyway. We can talk about it. Ain't nothing else to talk about. And we better go beat the Panthers. I know that.
The Panthers are favored by 1 point, by the way.
Hey, look, the Panthers ain't nothing to play with right now. That's all I'm saying. You see what they almost beat the Eagles. If it wasn't for that drop,
I mean, it's cool. What Vaughn say? Look at it go. Look at it. Just look at it, man, and move on. Wow, funny that.
Man, they are having a field day in the NFL chat, man. The Pennsylvania boys are turned up right now. But we got to talk about another AFC North team because this debate sparked. What was it last year? It had to have been last year, right? It was last year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know Carl somewhere right now saying, "Look, I know he go off on my team, but y'all got to stop disrespecting Jamar Chase. Like, put some respect on his name." Mm-hmm. And Mr. 7-Eleven went out there and said, "Man, I'm always open." Remembering the Week 3 2022 matchup, I talked about it just a little bit with Trayvon Diggs and Jamar Chase. Went up, and the first thing he said when they asked him in the locker room this week, he said, "Oh no, that game still hunts me. That was the one time I wasn't open. Trust me, I remember that." And it was 5 receptions for 54 yards, 0 touchdowns. And last night, he said, "I'm always open." He was on both sides of the field. He said, "I can go on Trayvon's side and get some, and I'm gonna go on Bland's side and get some too." And actually, he went on Bland's side, and Bland didn't fall for the double move until after he caught the ball, which is normally the opposite. They go for the double move before so it was just a bad night. But 14 receptions on 18 targets, 177 yards, and 2 touchdowns on a Monday night. The gritty was out. And now everyone has to ask, is Jamar Chase the best receiver in the NFL?
I'll do this first.
I was going to say Joe.
You know, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes. When Jettis had his year, he crowned Jettis, right? Crowned him. Because, like, there's going to be receivers that have a year. And then we might be like, you know what? I still don't think he's the best receiver in the league. I.e. Cooper Kupp. When Cooper Kupp won a Triple Crown, I don't think we were saying he's the best receiver in the league. You know, we gave him his props. We gave him, hey, he probably should have been MVP. You know, we gave him props. But is he the best receiver? No, I'm not going to say that. When Jettis had his year, we had 1,800 yards. I think he had 8 touchdowns. We were like, yeah, he's the best receiver because you see the skill set outside of the numbers first. And then he put the numbers on the paper. But Jettis has been consistent his whole career, and then he just had his best year that year. Tyreek Hill, you see the skill set before the numbers. And then when he had his 2 years, 1,700 back-to-back seasons last year, and then we like, yeah, he's the best receiver. Now Jamar Chase. Now in this debate, like you said, remember we had an R2L debate. Jamar Chase against AJ Brown, AJ and Carl. That started right there. And then they threw Jettis. You know, AJ Brown was no longer, I guess. I don't know, but they threw Jettis in there. But the case in the NFL chat, I got to become a member to be in the conversations, was Jamar could do everything. Jamar is a complete receiver. You know, he's a great route runner. He can catch. You know, he got speed. He got good agility. He's good with the ball in his hands, right? But his numbers kind of dropped. Remember, like he had a one rookie year, but he never had a year since that rookie year he had. Contract season comes, and this year was most impressive about this year. First of all, he's on track to have 120. Right now, let me call his numbers out. 93 receptions. He's on track to have 122 receptions. 1,300 yards. He's on track to have 1,725. 15 touchdowns. By the way, Jettis or Tyreek Hill has never done that in their career, and he already got 15 touchdowns. Jettis' career high is 10. Tyreek career high is 13. And Devontae Adams had 15 2 years ago. He was all pro. He's gonna try to have 20 touchdowns. What's most impressive about this year, y'all? He has to do this. He has to do this. If he don't have these type of performances, they're not nowhere near winning these games. Every game they won, he had to do this. They got 7 losses by 1 possession. And he went crazy almost every game. Like, so I'm gonna say yes right now. He is the best receiver. He about to get a triple crown, something Jettis and Tyreek Hill never done, by the way. So yeah, I give props what it's due. He's the best receiver in the league.
I give props when it's due too, but I'm just not gonna go that far right now. Do I believe he's one of the best wide receivers in the league, like top 3, top 5? Absolutely. I think it's without a doubt. I think that was one of the biggest debates that we had in the chat was, is he top 5? That was the debate between A.J. Brown and Jamar Chase. I think it's without a doubt Jamar Chase is top 5 wide receiver. Now, the only reason why I'm not going to say he's the best wide receiver in the league now is because this is the first season he's ever led the league in receiving in anything, honestly. He's never led the league in catches. He's never led the league in yards. He's never led the league in touchdowns. He's leading all of that right now, which is absolutely tremendous. But this has to be consistent. We can't go off of just one season. And like you said, the thing with Cooper Kupp, he had a triple count that year, but we didn't name him the number 1 receiver overall after that one season. He had one of the best receiving receivers we've ever seen in history, but he wasn't. We didn't consider him the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL, even though now he's still a really good wide receiver. He just has some injuries that goes along with him, but I'm not going to say he's the best wide receiver in the league right now after just one season. If he does it again next year, then that's an argument we can have. That's something we can actually say that. At least with Jettis, we've seen him consistently be at least top 2 in the NFL, top 2, top 3 in the NFL, and everything. Catches, yards, touchdowns. He's been up there almost every single. It's consistency there. Tyreek Hill, same thing with him. It's been consistency there. When he was with the Chiefs, it was there. When he went with Tua, it was there. So it's consistency there. With Jamar Chase, there's been arguments about him barely going over 1,000 yards or barely getting to this and that. And yes, he's had some injuries going along with that, but he still has to be consistent. We have to see this multiple times, not just one season where he's leading and everything. It has to be multiple times. So I would say right now, no, but he's definitely up there. Me personally, top 5, top 3, absolutely. But number 1 overall, I'm not going to go there just yet until I see it again. You said top 3, so has he shifted your idea on Tyreek Hill? So I'm not.
Oh, me?
Kind of one. I'm asking Dave because he said top 3, but you said top 5, so I'm trying to think.
I'm not saying he's absolutely top 3. You know what I'm saying? If someone says he's top 3, I'm not going to argue with it. That's what I'm saying. But Tyreek Hill, I mean, he's had a bad season this year. So the thing is that going to happen again next year? So I don't know. But I definitely have him top 5 for sure.
I'm with the top 5. The only year someone can argue with you, Dave, that he barely got over 1,000 was 2022. But other than that, I'm looking at 14, 12, 13. Well, this year at 13 and on the pace to probably get 17. Like it's the Bengals year is so strange because they got an MVP playing quarterback and their record don't show it. They got an offensive player of the year wide receiver and the record don't show it. The running back is doing their thing. They got they got somebody that could be in the running for defensive player of the year and the record still don't show it. It's almost kind of like the opposite of what's happening with the Chiefs. It's like they're having a decent year, but they're like finding ways to almost lose games, but they're winning them. It's insane. But is Jamar Chase the best receiver in the NFL? I can't go with that right now, Joe. I can say he's one of the best because we didn't expect Jettis to have the season that he's having right now. And because of the quarterback, we didn't think Sam Darnold was going to actually do what he was doing. We knew Jettis was going to be good, but we didn't think that Jettis was going to be. You've seen the Falcons game. He was getting open. It seemed like the Falcons was checking the sideline more than they was checking him. And it's been several games where that's happened. And with Jamar Chase situation, one line that you did say in your opening soliloquy, Joe, was that he has to play like this. I wouldn't say he has to play like this for them to win the games. He has to play like this because the franchise didn't really value it. So now imagine what his number gonna be. Because I'm looking at the stats right now, and the top 3 receivers, when it comes to receiving yards, 2 of them just got paid. You got CD and then you got And then you got Jettas, and then it's Chase. And Chase was sitting there like, I want to get paid a little bit more, but they were saying, well, we don't really know right now, and we already see what he's going through. Jerry Jeudy just jumped up in the top 5 because of that game with Jameis. And look what happens when you start a better quarterback, Browns. But that's another topic for another day. But for me, I would say he's always been in the top 5 conversation. I'll let AJ handle that fight when it comes to AJ Brown, but them numbers when it comes to Jamar Chase, man, is getting a little. It's kind of rough to say that he's not one of the best wide receivers in the league right now.
So I'm not mad at you got Sam, but I got one pushback from Dave though. Jettas has been top 2 only twice his whole career in anything, twice his whole career. Jamar Chase has been triple crown, something Jettas has never done. Jettas has never been top 2 in touchdowns, never been top 3 in touchdowns, never been top 4 in touchdowns. Jettas is not a high touchdown guy. He's a high receiving yards guy. Mm-hmm. Jamar Chase almost every year has more touchdowns than Justin Jefferson. He doesn't have the yards that Jettas has. But there were times when Jamar Chase was 4th. He's first right now. He was 4th one time, and he was 3rd in touchdowns. So nobody but Tyreek Hill has been consistently been in the top 2 in yards and like throughout his tenure. Mm-hmm. But Triple Crown, that's a big deal. That's a huge deal. Especially this kind of year, like you said, Tomo. Just like, I get it. You know, you're right. Contract year, all that stuff. I mean, listen, you know, Jettas, he wanted a contract, he got hurt. Contract, I get that, but if he don't have these type of performances, the Bengals have no shot of winning these games. Literally, they have no shot. You know, so it's not like he's piling on. He's like Tyreek Hill did with Miami. Like, there was time of blowing teams out, and Tyreek Hill was just piling on. Same thing with the Chiefs. Jamar has to do this. Look at the Ravens game. Look at last night. All that stuff. So I'm gonna say yes. I gotta give it to Jamar because what have he done for me lately? Jed has been here all year. He has. He's been here all year.
But he has been here all year. I'm just saying I just have to see again, at least him being top 3, top 2 in another season. You know, like you say, he said at best he's been what, 3rd in yards and 4th in touchdowns.
4th in yards and Cooper Kupp's Triple Crown year and 3rd in touchdowns.
For me, he just gotta be up there again. He just has to be top 3, top 2 in another season. If he has another season, and it doesn't even have to match this season because this is insane what he's doing this year. But if he's top 3, top 2 next season, you got it. I personally just need to see it again. That's all.
It's the Hurts effect. Remember, Hurts had the All-Pro year, and then we came on here and was like, if you do it one more year.
I wouldn't say it's the Hurts effect. Jamar to me has always been top 5. So that's not.
He went crazy.
Yeah, and his rookie years when they remember in the preseason he was dropping all these passes. People was questioning if he was actually be a really good receiver, and he balled out after that. So for me, it's just I just want to see it again. So.
They got 5, Brother Jacob. They got 5.
It ain't because
or in my Joe voice, they got 5 on.
Hey,
I was watching the Commanders game last week, and they played it after he scored. I was like,
they do. They play it every time you score.
I didn't know that.
I meant to tell you that, but
you got to give Jamar Chase his props for the season because if it wasn't for him balling out, the Bengals would be getting blown out in these games. I'm sorry, they would be getting blown out because T. Higgins hasn't been there for real. Tyler Boyd is gone. They don't have a consistent running game for real. So it's Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase or bust.
Chase Brown been balling though, and Winston was balling before he got hurt.
Yeah, he has. But what I'm saying is it wasn't as consistent.
I got you.
With, you know when what you call him leaving. But other than that, it's been decent though.
But I'm not mad at. Go ahead, Tomo.
So how many went? Because Brother Jacob just started something in the chat, so I just in the comment section. So I want to ask this question: how many wins do you think the Vikings have if Jettas isn't on that team?
They would still have wins. They got Jordan.
I got a better question for you, Tomo. I got a better question since wins is a receiver stat. How many wins has Jettas got in the playoffs? Oh, he only got one appearance. Oh, dang. And who
Wait, they played the Giants, right?
Daniel Jones.
And they got blown out in that game too.
Who Jamar Chase?
He lost to Saquon. That's what
Jamar
people
Chase
saying
beat
now,
the
man.
Chiefs? Oh my gosh. Jamar Chase beat the Chiefs? Oh, he did. He went to the Super
Jamar
Bowl?
Chase was in the Super Bowl.
Oh.
And scored in the Super Bowl too.
You my guy, brother Jacob. I'm
and they would have won if the O-line would have learned how to block that game.
And he was wide open.
Wide open.
He was wide open.
I'm still mad about that.
I plead the
Yeah. That was a good one. No, I just had to ask, man, you know, because when you throw out stats like that, you got to be accountable for what you say. And Joe, I heard you earlier when you said, speaking of crying wide receivers. So we're going to talk about wide receivers being divas. I mean, Jamar Chase could have been a diva, but he like, look, I'm going to just go out here and ball out. Y'all want to play around? I'm going to go out here and ball out. Jetta said, I got hurt, but they paid me, so I'm going to just ball out. CD's had his moments on the sideline where he wants to pout and say, I'm open. Got people trying to read his lips and stuff like that. Then you go back and think about Dez Bryant flipping out on the sideline. That's a lot of Cowboys that I'm about to start talking about. T.O., he was an Eagle, 49. Man, Dave, we all done had a good year with T.O. You know what I mean?
We had a diva somewhere, man. A diva somewhere.
Then we had Debo just trying to, you know, pick up his teammates after they missed field goals. We all done had a moment with a wide receiver on the sideline, you know. But one wide receiver was asked a question, and this question spiraled out of control. So I'm gonna start off with the reason, then we're gonna talk about the reaction.
Okay.
And Kev, I'm glad you're here. So while you all going through the comments, I'm gonna get this video queued up. Okay. No. We gotta bring there we go. Accountability is what we're talking about. And action.
Good enough. What are some things you think that the offense needs to improve on? Passing.
AJ, I know everybody wants to get in a rhythm, and Devontae was acknowledging that. You know, receivers, just like running backs, want to get in a rhythm. How hard is it as a receiver to get into a rhythm when you guys are only throwing the ball like 20 times?
Incredibly tough. I only stopped because there was a lot of music in the background, and we try and get paid on this platform. So this started some commotion in the locker room, and then another vet had to come out and say something.
That's complaining need to be accountable. And I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he noticed. He, you know, I don't know the whole story, but I know that one is trying. And I mean, 11 could be a little better with how he responds to things. And they was friends before this. It's like, man, but things have changed. And I understand that because life happens. But it's the business side that we have to make sure that we don't let the personal get in the way of the business. And that's what we got to do better as right now.
Now, we played A.J. Brown and we played Brandon Graham. Kev, if you want to call in, let us know. We'll send you the link so we can play what you have to say as well. But, fellas, we got to react to what Brandon Graham had to say about A.J. Brown. Dave?
Like I said earlier, it looks like there's trouble in paradise. You would think that winning cures all, but clearly it does not. There was another video circling around with not just A.J. Brown, but A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith talking to each other on the bench. One thing I'll say about this team is they have been one of the most dominant teams for the last, 10 weeks. They've won 10 straight games. They're 10-2, 11-2. They are one of the best teams in the NFL. They're number 2 in the NFC right now. And they've been winning games, whether it was close, whether it was a blowout, doesn't matter. They've been winning. And it's been led by their defense and by their running game. The one thing that has been kind of sort of missing, I won't even say really missing, but it hasn't really been there, is the passing game. And one thing is, we've had conversations about Jalen Hurts. Is he a top 5 quarterback? Is he top 10? Is it Hurts or bust? We know he gets touchdowns with the touch push, but how is it when it comes to passing? Is he accurate? Is he good when it comes to throwing up the middle with the deep ball? What is going on with this offense? He has 2 dynamic wide receivers out there and a really good tight end. You got Dallas Goedert out there who needs targets. You got AJ Brown and you got Devontae Smith. And you got Saquon. There needs to be a healthy balance of everything. And there really hasn't really been a healthy balance. The Eagles offense is 31st in the league in passing. You wouldn't have thought that when it comes to this team. 31st in passing with the guy who was considered top 5 in the NFL as a quarterback, a guy who was all pro at once. He was in the MVP conversation. And some people were trying to put him in the MVP conversation now. And I'm like, I don't understand why, because the passing game is not where it needs to be. Now get me wrong, he's running well. He's a really good running quarterback. And that's not to say he's not a good passer, but right now the passing game is not where it needs to be, especially when it comes to certain games where you think that they would be able to take charge and, have a really good passing game against defenses that aren't really that good. So I think that they need to find a way to find out a healthy balance of having the pass game and the run. The run is supposed to help set up the pass. Saquon is having an outstanding season. He could definitely break the record right now. He probably would. And if it wasn't for the tush push, he would have 22. He would have 21 touchdowns right now running the ball. But he got stopped at the goal. He got stopped at the goal line, at the 1 yard line 11 times. We can't fault Jalen Hurts for him not scoring the touchdown when he was supposed to. But I'll say this, man. I don't know what Kellen Moore is going to do to be able to fix it. But I feel like the next game they're just going to force feed AJ Brown. And is that really going to lead to success? Because you still have Devontae Smith. You still got Dallas Goedert. You got to get everybody involved. And the thing is with wide receivers, they want to be able to be – they want to feel like they're a part of the game as well. Like Jamar Chase, I'm always open. Jettis is probably the only guy that I've never really heard say anything about him being involved. I mean, because he's the best wide receiver on that team, so he's involved almost all the time. But Debo has even had a situation just recently talking about him. He's not getting targets. But the thing is what you're doing leading to winning? What matters more? Is it getting passes more? Is it getting more catches? Or is it winning? Saquon is the one person who most people will understand if he would be upset because he's not getting the touchdowns. But Saquon just came from the Giants. He's not used to winning, so he doesn't care. He wants to get this winning out the way. So, and Brandon Graham to be in that locker room to say something, then that means he feels a certain way too. He sees what we see. So, am I going to go off of what the reporter said, or am I going to go off the guy who's asking in that locker room? I'm going to listen to the guy that's in the locker room. So, I'm just going off of what the guy in the locker room said.
You said they're 31st in passing?
They're 31st in passing in the entire NFL.
Now I'm in a conflicting spot. That's all Kellen like to do is throw the ball, man. And you told me they 31st in passing? Then you got Brandon Graham up here saying this. I'm in a conflicting spot, man. I don't know what's going on with the season. The Cowboys don't look good. The Commanders may be moving back to DC, and I got to agree with Brandon Graham. What is this season coming to? And then Josh Allen might win MVP. I don't understand. Hold up, Joe. You look like you seen something. Oh, I thought you seen the stat. But to go back to what he was saying, there was so many underlying tones of what Brandon Graham said in that. And Mark, you funny too, because I noticed that when AJ Brown was like, what's wrong with the passing? And he was like, he could have said, what's wrong with the traffic? What's wrong with the stadium? Like, what's wrong with any? He just went straight to passing. And to get 20 attempts in the game, when you got Saquon Barkley to your team, the first thing you should have thought about was they're going to run the ball some more. Because that's the one thing that the Eagles are actually, that's what your team is built on, running the ball. All 3 years that you all have been successful has been through the run game. The quarterback has been feeding off of it. We all know what the RPO represents and how it presents the openness of what happened. It helps the flow, like Dave said. You all run to pass, not pass to run like some other teams. And telling you the fact that Kellen Moore is not getting this man the ball is upsetting me. But then you also got to think about it like this, though, AJ Brown. You did miss some games. So that right there is probably a reason why the offense isn't flowing through you like it probably would have early in the season. Because in that Packers game, it was a good balance. And the next thing you know, after you got hurt, they had to lean more towards on Saquon. And they seen that, hey, this is how we are going to get out of games. Because eventually Smitty got hurt. Then Dallas Goedert got hurt. Go back to the Tampa Bay game, and you look at it like that. It was literally just Hurts, Saquon, Dotson, and some other guys. So they had to build off of something, and they seen their success after that game because the Bucks made sure y'all didn't get 0 yards for like almost 3 quarters. But that's just me taking my shots. Outside of that, Brandon Graham knows a little bit more about their relationship inside the locker room, Kev. I understand what you're saying in the comments about how they doing all these things. But again, if we are co-workers and we work in the same building every day, when I come home, whatever I tell my wife when I come home is what she's going to hear from me. But if a co-worker was to meet my wife at happy hour and tell her what's actually going on at work, they see the relationship between two people for 8 hours a day or 13 hours a day. And Brandon Graham's been around some fractured locker rooms. He's been around the best of the locker rooms. Y'all won a Super Bowl, the Nick Foles, Carson Wentz situation. So he can see the development between the two of you. And it's probably not the same. But again, friends fall out all the time. But that ain't got nothing to do with winning games. So do I think Brandon Graham, and yes, he did come out and apologize for saying what he said on there, but Carl, you all right. You get an old head on the microphone and a situation where they feel comfortable, they going to tell you what's really going on. And that's just what it is. 11, y'all winning, man. Suck it up.
Joe, before you go, I kind of want to answer Kev's question. So he want to know what Hurts' completion percentage is to 68.3, but he's 20th in yards. He's 14th in touchdown passes right now. So we got to look at that as well. It's not just a completion percentage. You got to look at the entire picture.
68 is actually not bad. 68%. Yeah. Okay. So look, first of all, I want to say I'm shocked that a veteran like Brandon Graham would come out and say that. Let me start there. Like, you don't know no better? You don't think people want to take what you said and like go crazy with it? Like, come on. Like, I'm surprised he did that. So that was very irresponsible by him. Let me start by saying that. Number two, I think this goes both ways. I do think Jalen Hurts can be more accurate when it comes to A.J. Brown. I do think Jalen Hurts does miss Jalen Brown. Jalen Brown. A.J. Brown. But I also believe A.J. Brown is crying too much. So listen to this, y'all. A.J. Brown, it's a crazy stat for y'all. A.J. Brown, right now, A.J. Brown is, I got it right here, sorry. A.J. Brown is 43rd in the NFL right now in targets per game. Now, we know he missed some games, so I had to do per game. But what my boy Kev always say, context matters. Did y'all know the Eagles throw the ball less than anybody in the NFL? They throw the ball 25 times a game. Number two are the Green Bay Packers at 28. And that's a 3-pass difference. Jacksonville is 19th at 31st. So, like, look at the difference between 3 passes, and 31 and 28. That's from 31 over to 19. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles are 3 passes less than the team ahead of them. That's crazy. They barely throw the ball. So let's do about percentages. Justin Jefferson, he's getting the ball 40% of the time. Every time Sam Darnold drops back, 40% of the time, he'll throw it to the Jets. All right, that's a lot. Jamar Chase, 25%. Y'all ain't know that, did y'all? 25%.
It's a huge drop.
25% of the time when Joe Burrow drops back, it's going to Jamar Chase. Terry McLaurin, 24%. A.J. Brown, 29%. He's got a better chance of getting the ball more than Terry McLaurin and Jamar Chase. Stop. Yeah, he getting 20. He leads his team in targets and he missed 3 games. So my whole thing is they have shifted. I disagree with you, Dave, when you said they have a healthy balance. They have a healthy strategy right now. They need to stick to what they're already doing. Run the ball heavy. Jalen Hurts is running the ball a lot more this year, too, and that's been doing well for the Eagles. Keep doing what you're doing. A.J. Brown going to have to just stop crying, and Jalen Hurts going to have to play better. Got to play better. Now, I understand he did say that it's hard to get into a rhythm when you're barely throwing the ball. That is true. And it's frustrating because the minimum moments you had to actually be an impact on the game, Jalen Hurts is missing you. I understand that. Like me and Javon talked this earlier, the TD he threw on the outside, it was in the red zone. He had A.J. Brown right in front of him on his favorite route, right on the car, like literally. And then he didn't throw to A.J. Brown. He threw it to, I think it was Devontae Smith. Threw it to Devontae Smith. So I think that it goes both ways. I do think it's bigger than what the media is making it, because Nick Sirianni did come out and he did respond to reporters, and he said that they eat lunch every day together. Like they still friends, basically.
Y'all got on the golf cart, Nick. We don't believe that.
Exactly. When it comes to Eagles, you can't believe nothing when it comes to this stuff. But I do think like AJ Brown gotta think, like he gotta respond to the media better. You can't be doing that. Like he responded so fast. What's the problem? Passing. I'm like, dang. He ain't say the passing. Like he said passing. Like that sounds like hurts. And then he said the passing game. It sounds like hurts. You know? And then so I think they gotta do a better job of communicating with the media, because you know how the media, especially in Philly, they're gonna blow it up.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that part. I agree. And with the target percentage, yeah, it's I didn't know that 29%. That's huge. But that's one thing that a lot of players got to stop doing. They got to be able to handle media a lot better, man. That's one thing that a lot of players got to do, especially AJ Brown. AJ Brown has been in Philly long enough to know that there's certain things he can't say or do when it comes to the media, because Philly media is just like, it's like the New York media. It's like you got to be careful what you say, especially when you know it. And then you got to look at who you talking about. This is supposed to be your best friend that you came to play with. You know, this is a guy that's your guy. That's your man. That's the one you hang out with all the time. Like you said, they say you eat lunch together. You do everything together. That's your guy. That's the guy who's going to feed you the ball. That's the guy who's going to throw you the ball. So you got to be careful of how you portray how he is playing as a player. But when I say healthy balance, I'm not saying they need to throw it 10 more times. Just throw it a couple more times. Just make sure that you get him involved in the game early.
Yeah.
You know, he want to get in rhythm, so get him involved a little early.
Right. And I just want to touch on one thing, because this goes back to what happened last year when he walked out of the locker room and said he didn't want to talk to the media, is because of how they're going to blow things out of proportion. And it's like, well, if you knew that last year, why would you then come back and then answer the question that way? That's why when Kev said what he said in the Archwell chat about the mental aspect of it, I was like, no, he knows exactly what he's doing. Like, he just don't want to talk to him because he know what he's going to say. And now he's talking to him. And he's probably like, see, this is why I don't talk to y'all, because as soon as I say something, I was like, yeah, let me ask the question first. They do it on Family Feud all the time. If you answer before you finish the question, now you got to answer the question with anything, and then the rest of the question would be something crazy. And you just sitting up there looking like, I didn't think that, Steve. So look, that's all I'm saying. And media training, they don't need it, Dave. They all do podcasts now. They just gonna talk about it on their own show. Shout out to Mike. I can't wait to go listen to what he got to say. But we got two more topics for y'all. We got one. Well, these next two topics are Dave centric.
Can I announce a baseball signing real quick?
Oh, go ahead.
Right-hander Nathan Eovaldi and the Texas Rangers are in agreement on a 3-year, $75 million contract.
And the Rangers?
Yep.
Dang. Shout out to BWT.
That baseball money different, man. Shout out to BWT. Man.
Shout out to Juan Soto. Oof.
How you gonna say shout out BWT then Juan Soto? Yo,
the contract, you said baseball money.
Disrespectful, but
that's why I left it alone. That's why I said baseball money different. I wasn't trying to do that. That he's somewhere.
But hey, the Yankees got Max Fried. They got him, so they got somebody else. 8-year, $218 million. So they good.
I mean, Juan Soto different though.
That's 750. That's 750.
765, right, Dave?
765. It is.
Yeah, 15 years, 765, $75 million signing bonus.
It's 51.
51 a year for 15 years.
In New York, so that's probably like either way. Let me see.
Dang, New York,
so he probably looking at least about 40 to 30 something after taxes. That's still anyway. Rams versus
it's a big game.
Rams versus 49ers. Dave, we've been going back and forth with the 49ers, man. We've been trying to figure out if y'all gonna make the playoffs or not. We're trying to figure out if y'all gonna win the division or not. And y'all division just keep finding ways to beat up on each other. Like they beating up on each other. They did me a solid. Shout out to the Rams. They shut down Josh Allen's spectacular day. I mean, he had a great day, but he lost. So I'm not mad at that. But Thursday night, the decision has to be made. Kyle Shanahan said he don't want to coach nowhere but the 49ers. Y'all running back, I got to call y'all running back university because y'all find ways to just pluck running backs off the street and they do dangerous things in fantasy football. Dave, who wins Thursday night?
'49ers win Thursday night, which I thought I was going to say. I thought I was going to say the Rams was going to win. I can't stand the Rams. I'm never picking them against us. I'm sorry. It's not happening. The 49ers will win the game on Thursday night. Now, we have some things going against us a little bit, though, because they already ahead of us. They already beat us earlier. You know, they beat us on the road when we went to their house. You know, we always say that we run California, we run LA. You know, our fans travel, and it just didn't work out that way. I feel like we're going to learn from our mistakes and win this game. Now we have someone returning in this game that hasn't played all season. Dre Greenlaw is back. He'll be there Thursday night. So that's giving me some hope with the defense, at least to be able to contain Kyron Williams, who's been going off. And then, you know, the rookie has been they got Blake Corum involved now. So we need that two-headed monster to be able to go ahead and contain that run game. So we got that now. Having Tyler Hufanga back improved our defense in the last game. I understand it was against the Bears, but you still got to look at their weapons. They got Keenan Allen, Roma Dunze. They got some weapons there that we had to make sure we contain, and we only allowed 13 points in that game. It's been a while since we've allowed under 20 points. The last two games we've gotten blown out. You know, we got blown out 35-10 to the Packers and then 38-10 to the Bills. So we had to deal with that, and it was on the road. And this was a home game for us, but we still needed to win this game, because this is a game where a lot of people didn't think that I think we were only favored by like 3 in this game, or like 3.5 in that game against the Bears. And, you know, and I said that I was even cautious about this game because the Bears are coming off of firing their head coach. You know, the OC, the offensive game started to get a little bit better. So I was like, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but right now, I feel a little bit better because the offense finally feel like it clicked on Sunday. This is the first time I've seen this offense actually do some things on offense that I haven't seen in a while. And that's drive down there and get some red zone touchdowns. That's been an issue for us all season long. The Rams, however, you know, they just went and beat one of the best teams in the AFC. So it's not looking like we should be favored in this game. It feels like I shouldn't have any confidence because they beat a team that we got dominated by. But this is a rivalry. I can't even say it's a rivalry because we've owned them the last few years, but they did beat us in the playoffs when it mattered. So it could go either way, however someone wants to say it. But I think that with what happened on Sunday, it gives us some hope that we can at least still can be able to compete in our division. Now we still got some tough games coming up. We got to play the Dolphins in Miami. We got to play the Lions in Detroit. So we still got to worry about those 2 games coming up. But this is a game right now that it's not an easy game. They have a high power offense with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, Matt Stafford, and the running game. They have things that. And their defense is nothing to be played with as well. Their defense is still good as well, but we're surprisingly, we're not out of it. I honestly, last week I said it was over, and it seems like I'm doing a complete flip. But I at least have some hope in this game because I saw what happened on Sunday. I wasn't expecting a blowout. I thought it was going to be a closer game, maybe like a 23-17, something like that. I figured we would win, but I figured it would be a lot closer than what it was. I wasn't expecting a 38-13 win. I wasn't expecting that at all. So if this offense can come out like that, and this defense with Dre Greenlaw and Tyler Hufanga back, I feel like we make something happen. The only thing is, I don't need anyone else getting knocked out in this game, because if that happens again, then that's it. We have to win this game because it's a divisional game for one, and we already have 3 losses in the division. So we need this win. It's important that we win it, and I believe we will.
So, what Isaiah Thomas say to Magic Johnson? I know, man. It hurt me too, man. Go ahead, Joe.
I mean, this day topic, I think y'all gonna win too. So, like, I agree with Kev right here. They have what do you say? They have a punches. Here you go. The 49ers aren't completely out of it. To be honest, none is facing them and guaranteeing to win. I don't care what team it is. Always a puncher's chance. He's right. I've been trying to say. And Seahawks got the Packers.
It's a puncher's chance, but my thing is it wasn't consistent. I didn't see anything from the offense to make me be like, all right, we got it. Or from the defense for that matter. You know, I just put Nick Sorensen in the doghouse because the defense has been playing putrid all season long, whether we were healthy or not. It just wasn't good. So
Hufanga back, Greenlaw back now.
Those are two leaders. Those are two Pro Bowl guys, two All Pro type players. So if those guys come back and make a difference, then it could do something. So I at least have some hope for Thursday.
Let's get it. And the Rams, they win big games and they turn around and lose one.
That's exactly why I was said. I wanted to pick the Rams, but then I thought about it. It was just in a shootout with Josh Allen, so they probably tied. So they might not be who they say they are. And then the 49ers already own them. So it's gonna be interesting. And plus, how many people from Kyle Shanahan tree has actually beaten Kyle Shanahan? Still up there. So we're gonna see. Speaking of coaches, this debate, man, has been circulating, man. This debate has been going around. It's done started. It done died, got rebirth, or as Kendrick would say, it got reincarnated. Because some people feel like their coach needs to be top 5 or top 8 or top. I don't know. They just want to talk about it. So the saying goes, players play and coaches coach. We got RBO Vaughn here. You gonna bring RBO Vaughn up? Oh, my bad. You ain't break the record.
Oh, go ahead.
What's going on?
That's a heck of a way to introduce him. That's funny.
What's going on, man? You know, I'm just glad. I ain't break the record, but I did finish on that number 1 spot. You feel me? So home court advantage. We gotta go to Pittsburgh. You feel me?
Hey, it's looking that way, man. That's what I say. Players play and coaches coach and GMs GM. If you're in our fantasy league, you definitely need to be a GM. But we're talking top 5 coaches. Now, not top 5? You not top 5? Oh yeah, you ain't make the playoffs, Dave. My bad. We talking top 5 NFL coaches.
Dang.
Sheesh.
Said not top 5.
You're supposed to be my God. That's better.
You said not top 5. I got you. I might got your back on this topic depending on who in your top 5, but I ain't in it right now. This conversation has been carried over from the chats. Another conversation has been carried over from the chats to on air. We talked about it briefly on one of the episodes, and now we're here to settle it. Mom, top 5 NFL coaches. Who's yours?
How y'all doing, fellas? Again.
What's up?
Before I give my top 5, I want to give a shout out to my Orlando Magic, man. You know, if you watch RBO today, I said it. Hang your hat on defense, play hard, play as a team, and you got a shot. Down 1 at halftime, but they're looking good. Top 5 coaches, though. Now, I believe I gave a list last time, so to be honest, I have the same exact list. No order. Mike Tomlin, Andy Reid, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, and my 5th, I'm going to give it to Dan Campbell.
Okay.
Now, when this topic first was brought up, it was last 5 years, Tomlin's not a top 5 coach. So I just want to break, and the reason is because he didn't get no playoff wins. So
do you want to hear Dave's first before you go?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So you want to hear my top 5 before you explain why Mike Tomlin's top 5 from the last 5 years? That's fine. So my top 5 is Andy Reid, and this is no order, but Andy Reid, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur, and Sean McDermott. That's my top 5.
Okay.
Sean McDermott? Okay.
And your criteria for a top 5 coach is a coach that wins in the playoffs.
coaches that have been consistently going to the playoffs and at least has a win or two in the playoffs. Not just getting there, but also having some playoffs wins.
Okay. So I just want to talk about Mike Tomlin's last 5 years as a coach. First thing I want to ask y'all is, what do y'all think is the most important position in football?
Left tackle.
Anybody can answer that.
Quarterback.
You know?
Quarterback.
I know quarterback.
All right, Joe, when you did your top, AFC order, you had Steelers ranked at what spot because of what?
AFC. You talking before the year?
Yeah, AFC North. You had
on
unfazed.
I think I had y'all last, right? No,
you had
fourth.
This last.
Third behind Cleveland.
No, you had this last.
I did?
Yes, you did. You had this last because of the quarterback uncertainty, and because of the quarterbacks. Yeah, you did, and because of the quarterbacks that are in the division. Correct. You have Joe Burrow. You have Lamar Jackson. I mean, what other quarterbacks you have in the AFC? You have Josh Allen. Mm-hmm. You have Pat Mahomes. Okay.
Justin Herbert. Just the other guys.
You can throw Justin Herbert in there,
CJ Stroud.
That's recent.
Oh, true. Go ahead.
So 2019, his quarterbacks was Mason Rudolph, Delvin Hodges, and these were the quarterbacks that made the teams that made the playoffs. MVP Lamar, Tom Brady, Deshaun Watson, Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, and then the Titans, but Derrick Henry ran for 1,500 that year. The next year, we made it to the playoffs, but we lost first round to the Browns. That game was horrendous. I'll give him an L on that, but made the playoffs. Year after that, made the playoffs again. Lost first round to the Chiefs. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger on his last leg against Pat Mahomes. Who are you picking? Now, I would say if Mike Tomlin wins that game, he overachieved, if you ask me that. Next year after that, Kenny Pickett, Mr. Trubisky is his quarterbacks. We missed the playoffs, go 9-7-1. I can argue that the game that Kenny Pickett got knocked out against the Ravens, we possibly win because we did go in Baltimore and end up beating them later that year with Kenny Pickett. And that would have put us in the playoffs. But we didn't make the playoffs. But once again, poor quarterback play. And the same next year, we make the playoffs with Mason Rudolph, Mr. Trubisky, and Kenny Pickett. And then we lose to Josh Allen in the playoffs. I mean, I would say if Mike Tomlin beats Josh Allen with Mason Rudolph, he's overachieving, right? So I would argue that it's hard to, call a coach not top 5 just due to wins when it's a quarterback's league and you don't have a quarterback. The fact that he's making it to the playoffs with these rosters is overachieving. So I will argue that.
Go ahead, Dave. You right, Joe. I had y'all for
you wait for me to rebuttal that or say something?
I want you to just explain your list because.
Well, like I said, those the coaches I named have all at least gotten to the playoffs, got a playoff win. They've been consistent in at least having a good regular season record. They have also, there are a few on that list that have at least gotten to the Super Bowl and at least won one. Now, Kyle Shanahan is 0-2 in the Super Bowl as the head coach. But he's gotten there twice. He's been in the NC Championship game at least 3 or 4 times within the last 5 years. So that's why he's on that list. Andy Reid, I mean, I don't think I need to explain that. He has 3 Super Bowl wins. That's simply explainable. Sean McVay, he's been to the Super Bowl twice and he has a Super Bowl ring. Beat Kyle Shanahan in the NC Championship game to go to get that Super Bowl ring. So that counts. Matt LaFleur, whether he had Aaron Rodgers or Jordan Love, he's been able to get to the playoffs and got a playoff win last year when they weren't favored to beat the Cowboys. They went on the road and beat the Cowboys at home when the Cowboys were undefeated at home. So that counts for something for him, at least being able to allow that to happen. Sean McDermott. I know a lot of people think that that's probably the craziest one that I said, but Sean McDermott has at least been in the playoffs multiple times. He's been in the playoffs multiple times. He's gotten some wins, and he's beaten some quarterbacks head to head that some other guys haven't. And whether you say it or not, you know, the Bills have been consistent playoff guys, and they've won it. They won a division. Now for Mike Tomlin, I would agree that if he was able to get a playoff win, that would be overachieving. But my thing is, when it comes to him overachieving and underachieving, it's because of how high I hold him. He's a Super Bowl champion as well. And I say if this was overall, he would definitely be in my top 5 because it's overall. I'm just talking about in the last 5 seasons. Last 5 seasons, he hasn't gotten to where I believe that he could lead his team to be. And some of those decisions have been made because of him. Remember, there was a lot of complaining about Matt Canada being there, and he didn't make a decision to move off of that offense. And that offense probably would have held him to guide him to a better situation to where he could have won. I believe if Arthur was there, then you would have had different results as far as the offensive consistency with the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you see what's going on now with your offense, with your two different quarterbacks right now, Russell Wilson, who has but let's look at Russ the last few seasons. He hasn't necessarily been one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and Justin Fields was given away because they didn't believe that he was the guy that can win it all. Now we may see differently that Justin Fields has the talent to be able to do it, and we know Russ is a Super Bowl champion, and he's been in the Pro Bowl multiple times and stuff like that. He's got an MVP vote or whatever, but he wasn't that the last few seasons. So right now, you could I wouldn't necessarily put him on the same avenue as Kenny Pickett because I think they're better than those guys without a question. But just because he hasn't been able to get there, he hasn't been able to get a playoff win. He hasn't had a playoff win in 8 years, and he hasn't made decisions to put his team in position to win either. So that also takes account to it. These other guys have at least put their teams in position to win as well. Whether you want to talk about, let's just talk about Kyle Shanahan for once. Because he's had 2 different quarterbacks. He's gone to the Super Bowl with 2 different quarterbacks. No one thinks that Jimmy Garoppolo was one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Let's just be honest about it. If you look at last year where Brock Purdy played well, there are a lot of people saying it wasn't because of him. It was because of his weapons. Brock Purdy ain't good enough. He ain't that guy. He doesn't deserve the contract that they're going to give him this offseason. Nobody was saying that when we had Trey Lance. That was a terrible decision that he made. But he recovered it because he has a guy in his locker room, Brock Purdy, who was able to do something that no one thought he could do. Now, yes, he has weapons. Yes, don't get me wrong. He has weapons, but no one thought that Brock Purdy, the last pick of the draft, was going to be able to do what he did. Jimmy Garoppolo has shown that unless he's in the offense that caters to what he does best, he ain't really going to do much. We won a game in the playoff from him only throwing 8 passes. So Kyle Shanahan was able to do that with a guy that can't really do anything. He's inconsistent. He's not as accurate as he needs to be. They called him Jimmy Gimme. So we had to deal with that for a while. So those are my reasons as why I put those coaches ahead of Mike Tomlin. I think Mike Tomlin is one of the best coaches to ever coach. Don't get me wrong. This is not to disrespect him, not to say that he's not top 10, top 6, because he's right. For me, he's right. He's top 6. He's right there. All I need from him to see is to him not just be a winning regular season coach. You're one of the guys. You're supposed to be able to. He has enough cachet to be able to draft the quarterback that he wants, to put them in position to go and win a playoff game, to put them in position to win Super Bowls, and that's why you have what you have now. If he did this a few years ago, this wouldn't even be a topic. But he waited. He waited too long to get rid of Matt Canada. He waited too long to get another quarterback. You already knew that with Ben Roethlisberger being gone, that you didn't put yourself in position to be able to have another quarterback after him. So I put that in Tomlin's hands because he's the head coach. He's the guy that's able to make some of the decisions. Now he's not the GM. Don't get me wrong, but he has enough cachet to say, look, this is the guy that I want, and I'm almost certain they would go draft the guy that he wants.
I think it's unfair to do that to him because Sean, it's not like these guys went and drafted their guys. Like Matt LaFleur didn't go and draft Aaron Rodgers or didn't go and draft Jordan Love. Like these aren't guys that they went and got. You know what I mean? Like Sean McDermott. Did Sean McDermott draft Josh Allen? I'm not even sure.
I think Matt LaFleur got Jordan Love.
He did get Jordan Love.
And I think Sean McDermott did get Josh Allen too.
Yes, he did.
No, I gotta look into the Sean.
He was
McDermott
there.
one.
I'm not saying like he.
I thought it was the Giants GM.
Huh? No, I'm not saying.
McDermott was the head coach.
I'm not saying like he made the call to go get Josh Allen.
And that's the point. Like we don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't know that these guys are the people that pick these guys. You feel what I'm saying? Like you putting all this on Tomlin because you're saying he should have drafted the quarterback he wanted at the time and things like that. It's like he was winning games. He wasn't at the bottom of the barrel. He didn't have a sorry season to get a good quarterback. He was overachieving so much to the point where every year his picks was like in the middle. And now you see, like I say, this all is predicated off quarterback play. Every single coach you name has a top quarterback, and they had a top quarterback the past 5 years. It's nobody that has overachieved with their team. And Sean McDermott, to me, he has a lot of situations where you like Sean McDermott cost the Bills that game. I can't really name a lot of times where I say Tomlin cost us the game, to be quite honest. You're trying to blame personnel as far as quarterback drafting on him, which lies a lot on the GM, which we got a brand new GM now in the past 3 years, and you see the changes that are happening. A lot of people wanted Tomlin out. I told you this. I told everybody. I say now this year we have like everybody think we overachieving. Not in my eyes. I said this. We got good quarterback play. You try to say if we had Arthur Smith back then. No, it was because the quarterbacks was trash. Yes, the Matt Canada didn't do the greatest job, but if you got some skill, you still can make some plays. It was some plays out there to be made, and those guys wasn't good enough to do it. So that was funny. So I remember that against the Ravens. But I really feel like
that was good coaching.
The 5-year criteria that you're given, you're not taking into account the quarterback play. Because it's not like Josh Allen doesn't have the most touchdowns ever in the past 5 years on offense, things like that. It's not like Andy Reid don't have the greatest quarterback everybody say is playing right now. Which call it didn't even win.
Okay. You went mute. You went mute.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
It's back on mute.
I got him.
Are you on mute? Okay.
I can't. It's not letting me do it. Do it again.
Still on mute.
There you go.
Hey,
Cook.
You gotta go back. You gotta go back because we didn't hear you for like the last minute or so. You got to start over. You good now? We hear you.
We good?
Yeah.
We good.
All right. Sean McVay, he didn't even win his ring until he got what? A quarterback. He did get there with Jared Goff. That's why he's also in my top 5. But Matt LaFleur, he got one win against the Cowboys, who everybody say folded for real. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like he beat the Cowboys at their best. The Cowboys went out there and put on a terrible performance. And I do give credit to the coach. But you also got to give credit to the play of Jordan Love. Everybody was saying, oh, my goodness, Jordan Love looks amazing. They were saying A-Rod should have been left. The same thing you were saying about Mike Tomlin. A-Rod should have been left. So I really think your argument should go deeper than just wins in the playoffs because your personnel matters about winning in the playoff, and especially the number one position, which is a quarterback.
I feel you, but I made my statement on my argument, on my reasons. Those are my reasons.
Sean McDermott you made a great case for Sean McDermott. The only reason I thought you put him in the top 5 is because his quarterback is Josh Allen.
I would get McDermott.
I had to look at everything else. The quarterback situation is very important. Don't get me wrong, and that's why I said I give Tomlin credit for at least not being bottom in the league. because honestly, anyone else in this situation would be bottom of the league. I'll be honest about that. But that's why I didn't drop him like to like top 11 and like that. He's number 6. He's right there. All I need for Mike Tomlin to do is look. Right now, he's in position to win his division, and if not, we know he's guaranteed to make the playoffs. Go in the playoff game. That's it.
And another thing I want to say, I feel like you holding them at a higher criteria than you holding these other guys for real. You know, you saying, yeah, he's a Super Bowl champ, so I expect him to win a playoff game just because of that. Off his cachet. He should be able to do this off his cachet. And like I say, man, the quarterback position matters. I give you the Browns game. That's 1 year. But other than that, come on, bro. Mitch Trubisky and Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph against Josh Allen, you're not winning that game. Even have a chance in that game is pure. Everybody gives Steelers a chance just because of Mike Tomlin. You don't give the Bills a chance because of Sean McDermott. You give the Bills a chance because of who? Josh Allen. You give the Chiefs a chance because of Andy Reid and Mahomes. Same thing with Sean McVay and Stafford. But I'm not like Sean McDermott. You don't say, oh, we got to take account. It's Josh Allen that you worried about. And anybody would say that. It's not it's Sean McDermott. Nah. When you play the Steelers, it's Mike Tomlin.
I see. I get your point, because when you say Rams, I mean, Matt Stafford is there, but we all seen Sean McVay do it without him. You say Andy Reid, you seen him take teams to the Super Bowl before Patrick Mahomes. So yeah,
same
with the Eagles to the Super Bowl. I mean, some people will be like, that's why Nick Sirianni. I mean, Doug Peterson got revered. Nick Sirianni, it's just hard, So
yeah, like, see, when you mentioned Don McDermott, I was like, at first. But now I had to think about it. I respect coaches that rebuild programs, and he rebuilt that Bills program. I gotta give him credit for that. They have winning ways now. Now, obviously, like Ron said, Josh Allen got a lot to do with it too. Because they weren't winning when Josh Allen wasn't playing good. But I gotta give him credit. But he does have some coaching mistakes in the playoffs, like Carl mentioned, all that stuff. And is he trying to throw Nick Sirianni? I'm just glad he took Nick Sirianni out. Because he ain't top 5 right now.
I admitted to that mistake.
Okay.
He's not top 5, bro. He only been coaching for like 4 years anyway. So
yeah, he not top 5. Sorry.
All right. I respect both sides though. I see what Vaughn is saying, but Dave has his own standard of why, and he's erasing Mike Tomlin's history and just looking at the last 5 years. And so I give you saying, and I give Vaughn saying, hey, he ain't had a quarterback play. This is a year to see.
But see, that's where it gets tough though, Joe, because it's like, I see where Dave coming from with the last 5 years, but it's like, how can you erase his history but hold him to a criteria based upon his history?
Good point.
There we go.
You got a good point. It's because of who he, like I said, it's because of who he is. It's because of who he is and what people revere him as, what players see him as. They see him as a guy that people want to play for. If that's a guy you want to play for, somebody that a lot of people respect, someone that, like I said, has the cachet to be able to make certain decisions within his organization. I already know he's revered in Pittsburgh. He's revered with Steelers Nation. It's the Steel Curtain for a reason. He continues to keep that alive. He's able. When he kept Matt Canada, who do we blame for that? Did we blame the GM or we blame Mike Tomlin for keeping him there?
Both of them.
We blame both of them, but majority of the blame went to Mike Tomlin because Mike Tomlin is the guy. He's the one that says, "Hey, I don't need him as my coordinator. I need someone else. This offense needs something better." That's the thing when it comes to this. I believe he has enough cachet. He has enough to be able to say, "Hey, look, this is who I'm looking at. I think we should draft this guy." And I'm almost certain that they're going to listen to him. This is a guy I think I need. The office is not working right now. Let's get somebody else in the building. We need a new voice. That's basically how it goes. It's different when it comes to Bill Belichick. That's why I didn't mention his name, because he was the GM. He was the coach and the GM. So I don't even put him there. But other guys like Kyle Shanahan, if you think about all the offensive coordinators he had say in that. Even though John Lynch is the GM, he had say in that. So do I think Kyle Shanahan is overall better coach than Mike Tomlin? No, but look at what he's able to do in San Francisco with John Lynch being the GM. He's able to talk about who he wants to draft, who he wants to put in the situation, who he wants his coordinator to be. He got Nick instead of going to go and get look, this offseason, he tried to get Bill Belichick as a defensive coordinator. Now Bill Belichick turned it down. But the thing is, coaches like that are able to get who they want if they put their input into it. I'm almost certain if he puts his input into it, he'll get what he wants. So that's why I feel like it's his fault that Matt Canada stayed there along with the GM, but it's also his fault along with the GM. We're not getting the quarterback in there in enough time when you see that Ben Roethlisberger was on his decline.
What about Zach Taylor?
I don't put him top 5 either because even though he got to the Super Bowl, he hasn't been consistently there. And if you look at how they're playing right now, they're absolutely terrible. So I don't put Zach Taylor up there.
He's a Super Bowl, AFC. Yeah, this conversation can go on for hours.
That's not fair though. I don't think to hold them to a certain standard, but
yeah, I get that point.
Shorten that. That's not fair because it's like I say, it's you gotta make it a well-rounded thing. Then if you're gonna do it like that, you can't chop it up how you want it to be.
So actually, this day, if Mike Tomlin did not have the history he had, if he was just Mike Tomlin from the last 5 years, and do what he did, like not having a losing record for the last 5 years with the quarterback play he had, will you have him top 5?
I still wouldn't have him top 5. I still wouldn't have him top 5. He would be top 10, but I still wouldn't have him top 5.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right. I respect it. So let's see this year. All eyes on Pittsburgh in the playoffs.
And I told him if year he does what I think what he's capable of, top 5, no question.
Who would come out?
Sean McDermott would come out.
That's who should have never been in. Let me just give my final words right quick because I don't even like he said it's the GM Tomlin fault. We got a new GM now. Apparently that GM wasn't working. We're making a lot of different moves than we have never been making since we got our new GM. So maybe
I praise your GM multiple times
but maybe now Tomlin has more say so in what's going on. So praise Tomlin as well. And
he's been getting praise from me.
You see the turnaround that's going on. We get a little better quarterback play, and he already got the defense. He's a defensive guy. He got that on lock. So,
of course, I never question that with Mike Tomlin.
Shout out to my Steelers, man. We got these Eagles. We going in Philly. We ain't winning Philly in a minute. It's been a while since before I was born. It's been a while. So we gotta do some history. You feel me? But no pickings. So it's time for Mr. Unlimited to do his thing. You feel me? But also, shout out to my Magic. I'm about to lock into the rest of the game, man. Hopefully we get this dub. Appreciate y'all for having me, man. Y'all have a good one.
All right, man.
Appreciate you for coming on, and great show earlier today, by the way.
Oh, yeah, appreciate you.
See you on Unfazed.
Yes, sir.
That's good.
All right.
Kill him on Unfazed, Bond.
Where you going? All right, you want to wrap it up? Let's wrap it up like a burrito.
We'll wrap it up then.
Last words. Shout out, like Dave said, shout out to Lambo. Oh, yeah. So shout out to Lambo LO. Shout out to Erhan for the logo. Tomo, give a shout out to all the Superstar members real quick.
Shout out to all the Superstar members. Shout out to Worm, Joe, Dave, Teddy, myself, Coach, Cardo, Vaughn, Lamar, Giovanni, and Chris. And Joe, I got to talk to you. I'll text you after the show. Somebody was on In the Red Corner. They said they was going to become a member. I want to double check and make sure. He had a lot to say to Ty, so make sure he become a member. But yep, shout out to all our Superstar members. And again, you could be a part of the conversation, man. Not just in the comments. You can also join the Instagram chats and keep the conversation flowing. Let's get to these last words, fellas. Click the description below so you can become a member today.
Okay, don't see it yet, so. But,
all right, bet.
But yeah, all right, cool. So shout out to everybody on the network. Shout out to everybody to our family. Shout out to In the Red Corner for winning last month. I know Ty been begging me to post the numbers. My bad, Ty got you tonight. Shout out to my fantasy leagues, man. All 3 of my fantasy teams are in the playoffs. All 3. Jaden Fool, shout out to us, Payback. I'm in a fantasy league with Ty. My name is Payback, and I think I'm a number 3 seed in there. I got to double check.
So Ty got a fantasy league and he ain't tell nobody about it?
No. So Ty been doing this for a while, but he wasn't trying to do it this year. He said the only reason why he did it because it's like it kind of started on an accident, and then he was like, "All right, I'm gonna just do it." He didn't want to do it this year. That's why he didn't do it in the main one. He kind of started on his own. He's like, "Dang, now I gotta run it." So it explains. I don't even think he made the playoffs, but then he probably did though. I'm just throwing shots. But in Javon's league, y'all, I had 4 dudes ahead of me on the last day. I needed all 4 of them to lose. All 4 of them lost. And I got in the playoffs in the last spot. And my name is Jobs Not Finish. Not Job Finish. Shout out to AJ. Jobs Not Finish. All right. I got the Kobe Joe in the press conference, my picture. And it's crazy because it's crazy because I needed Devin to lose. Devin had T. Higgins, and he needed only 4.80 points to win. Higgins got 4 points.
Cowboys did something right?
Huh?
Cowboys did something right last night.
No, for real though. I was like, yo, he need like another 40 points. I said, I need no more catches for T. Higgins the rest of the game, and he ain't getting out 1 catch. I was like, yo, thank you. So I'm in the playoffs. All three of my teams. And Tom, one day, we 0-2, man. We 0-2. We 0-2. I got a daggone bump. I got hit my head and all that, dog. Crazy. It was a physical game, but got some things to work on. We back up.
Sound like I need to come out of retirement or something. Come up there.
We back at ground zero, man. Like we had 3 new guys that show up out of nowhere, and then we get no chemistry. It's like, so we're gonna make it work. We're supposed to have a little practice on Thursday, so we're gonna bounce back.
Y'all got it, man. Y'all got it.
Yeah, we're gonna bounce back. Hopefully, I'll have a good story for y'all on Tuesday. And my Commanders, man. Hey, first of a bye week. Dan Quinn. He was top 5. I mean, so Dave, he won a couple of playoff games. Top 5. I'm just all right, but Dan Quinn.
It was just like pouring gasoline on fire.
Dang, that was 6 years ago. I said, you won a Super Bowl? That was it.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Can't count. So, yeah, the 5-year window. But shout out to where first of all, bye week, he said everybody was just excited and got an extra pump pat to the step yesterday. They kept asking him about, how important are these games? He said, listen, man, I'm just worried about the Saints. Hey, you do some scoreboard watching this weekend? I was watching the Saints game. Like, my man is focused on the next game.
He called Micah.
See, we're not used to this. So media going like, oh, he's like, yo, y'all chill. I've been to Super Bowl before. We just focus on the next game. Shout out Dan Quinn. Kings, 2-game win streak, longest win streak we had since the beginning of the season. Although it was the Spurs without Wemby and the Utah Jazz. I'll take the W's. So the Kings, one of the worst 3-point shooter teams in the league, but still a top 7 offense in the NBA and top 5 in field goal percentage. Once these 3s start falling like they had the last few games, that's all I gotta say with that one. And I think that's it. Texas, disappointed. Lost Georgia again. Hey, let's get this natty.
All right, let me go right quick, Dave. I gotta get up out of here. I gotta get a little man from basketball practice. Speaking of basketball,
okay.
Joe. So my last words is Cowboys. I mean, it's over. And like I said about the Wizards, it's definitely a bridge year. But again, my last words is more so to the network. Everybody's been dropping shows almost like every day, and the consistency has been there. So shout out to everybody on the network, and shout out for everybody bringing the heat. Because outside of Ty being competitive, I definitely seen Dave when some of those numbers dropped. Dave like, y'all think y'all got it? Watch this. I'm going in overdrive, and then I seen Kings talk. I see RBO Vaughn, and he doing more episodes now. I'm just saying, CTC, everybody doing their thing. So again, shout out to everybody on the network. Keep the work up. And make sure if you're watching right now, you hit that like button, you subscribe to all the shows on the network, and make sure you get the notification bell because CTC and BWT, the episode might come on at 1 a.m. and it's going to be full of fun. So nice. Make sure y'all do that. All right, fellas, man. Till next week because we're going on vacation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. See you on Tuesday.
Enjoy your vacation, my guy.
Enjoy your vacation.
The Cowboys and me on vacation. I'm out.
Speaking of Tomo, son, shout out to my son too. You know, balled out, had his best basketball game on Saturday. Jameer, shout out to you, Jameer.
Definitely saw that. For me, got to start off with this. Shout out to the U. Even though it's not the season we all wanted, you know, we thought that we would be in the ACC championship game with a chance to go to the playoffs. But let's be happy about something. Alabama ain't in the playoffs either, so let's be happy about that. we ain't got to worry about hearing that noise. It's all good. We're in the Pop-Top Bowl, going against Iowa State. So let's go beat the Cyclones. Let's go get this dub. Shout out to Cam Ward. He's had a fantastic season. I believe he should have been in the Davey O'Brien finals, but they did not put him on that list. I still think that's crazy because he's played the best quarterback out of anybody all season. If you look at yards, touchdowns, completion, he's number one. He's been the most consistent all season long. Shout out to Duke basketball. You know, Cooper Flagg has been balling, averaging about 20 and 10 almost every single game. So shout out to Cooper Flagg and those guys. Malik Brown is out tonight. So let's go get this dub. Got to say another thing. Shout out to the Miami Heat. Even though we had some news come out today about Jimmy Butler, 7-3 in the last 10 games. So that's some success. Tyler Hero balled out in the last game, put up 34 points. He's been balling. So shout out to Tyler Hero and the Miami Heat. And San Francisco, man, look, we still got a chance. I didn't think it would be possible, but we still got a chance. Thursday night, we at home. It's prime time. We're 3-1 in primetime games this year. The only game we lost was the embarrassment to Buffalo last week on Sunday night. But we're at home. Let's get this dub. This is a team we don't like. Let's get it. Oh, he is a finalist? Okay. He wasn't at first. So
I was going to check. I literally just checked it. Yep.
Okay. He wasn't at first. So I was highly upset about that. But all right, that's good. That's good. But yeah, San Francisco, let's get it, man. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. And shout out to all the shows. All the shows have been booming. Shout out to Teddy. The video he posted for Max Free got 5K views. So Teddy, you doing your thing, man. Everyone else doing your thing. Vaughn had a great show today. CTC has been having great shows. King's Talk, everybody has been having great shows. Let's continue to keep it going. And Coach, I know StreamYard was messing with you earlier, but tomorrow, go live. Exactly. Go live tomorrow, man. Go live tomorrow. Don't let StreamYard stop you. Do your thing. Shout out to everybody. Have a great show. Good night. Thank you for everybody for tuning in. Oh, and me and Joe will be in another duo battle, this time without Ticket TV on the show. This Saturday, 7 p.m. Watch us win.
And that's all we have for y'all today. We'll see y'all next episode on Friday. Peace out.
Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.